Listen to that. Man, do I love that. Frickin' love it. Does not get old. Does not get old. This car puts a smile on my face, and that is why you buy cars like these. If you're willing to just take your car out of the garage and just go out for a drive and then just enjoy yourself, then you bought the right car. You have the right freaking vehicle, because that's what these cars are made to do. They're made to be fun. They're made to be exciting, and they're made to freaking put a smile on your face. And this car definitely puts a smile on my face. Hey guys, welcome to another video. Hope you're having a good day. Today's video is going to be all about this 2020 Nissan 370Z Nismo package. We're going to be taking an in-depth look at this car. We're going to be looking at the exterior, the interior, talking about the specs, and then going out for a drive. And before this video really starts, I do want to say thank you to Nissan of Bradenton for letting me borrow this car for this review. I will have their link down in the description if you guys want to get more information on this car or anything else that they have. Engine, we have a 3.7 liter V6 that makes 350 horsepower and 276 foot-pounds of torque. As far as weight is concerned, this car has a gross weight of 3,968 pounds. Fuel tank, we've got a 19-gallon fuel tank, and this car is rated for 17 miles per gallon in the city and 26 miles per gallon on the highway. As far as our wheels here, these are 19-inch raised forged alloy wheels, and the front tires are 245 by 40 by 19, and the rears are wider at 285 by 35 by 19 also. Something I really want to point out here are the exhaust tips. They are gorgeous on this car, and let's talk about them being big because they are freaking huge. Very nice looking exhaust tips and a very beautifully sounding car. I'm sorry for pausing the video right here. I just wanted to say, if you guys have enjoyed the video so far, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed for more videos like this one, and let's continue on. And diving into the inside real quick, we do have Recaro leather seats and tons of Alcantara inserts all over the place inside of this car. And this being a Nismo package, we do have the front and rear body fascia, which is that red front sort of lip area there, and on the back we have some of this fascia here as well that makes up the Nismo package. And with that Nismo package, we also get these side skirts right here with that red little strip, as you can see. A really big slanting hood here, good looking headlights. We've got some daytime running lights over there, nice fascia down below or that front lip area. Stepping into the side of the car here, we already talked about the wheels and the tires. These red calipers, brake calipers, are absolutely huge and massive. They're 14 inches up front and 13.8 in the back, and 4 pistons up front. So really great stopping power in this car. It just does a really good job. The red accent pieces are really cool. So we've got red there on the brake caliper. We have red on the front fascia here down at the lip area. We've got a red little strip right here on the mirror. We've got a red strip down there where the body skirt is at. Red calipers in the back. Red diffuser area here. So overall, like, the black and the red looks really nice on this car. I want to make a point of that this combination as it is, plus tying into the interior, that red Alcantara inserts there. These seats are amazing. That red stitching right there that this car has, you're also greeted by this red Z emblem right there. So tons of red stitching everywhere else, but we'll get into that a little later. I usually like to start off with the driver's side and the driver's door, because I always like to talk about the materials and the fit and finish of all the cars that I review. So taking a look at the door, first of all, we've got a frameless type design with the window that slides in and out as soon as you open the door. As far as materials on the door, so this looks like plastic, but it's actually not plastic, and it's a type of foam rubber type of material. It's actually got a little bit of a soft feel to it, which is a huge thumbs up from me on that part. So the fact that they didn't put hard plastic here is awesome, because it's a really great place for just resting your arm or your elbow when you're driving. It's just the seating position is really nice for just resting your arm there. So really great on that part. And that basically goes in from here all the way, and it wraps below. And so down the bottom portion of the door here is actually plastic, just regular hard plastic, but I wouldn't expect anything else out of this. Here in the middle, you do have a really nice Alcantara insert, and so it's really soft, really smooth, and just you feel like you could be touching the material all day long and you're not going to be getting sick of it. And also you got really nice red accent stitching going all the way around, and that's something that I kind of briefly, I think, touched about a little earlier in the video. But there's a lot of red accent stitching here, accent stitching in general. Like there's stitching right there in the middle, steering wheel, the seats, really cool sort of design and look. We've got a little pocket down here below, a little cup holder. You know, you probably wouldn't be able to fit a big cup into there, but it's still there. Door handles are right here. You've got a lock and unlock there, you know, which is a manual sort of rocker switch, but you can also, you know, press the lock and unlock here. Your mirror controls are right there, and a little vent, which is kind of cool for, you know, when you close the door and you're sitting inside, it's just like a perfect position where it just blows nice cool or warm air at you. So that's really cool. Window controls are just one touch down, one touch up. That's really cool. I think every car should have that. Bose stereo sound system, which is a really good stereo system, really good audio quality. And going into the inside of the car, we were greeted by a nice Z emblem there. Really cool that they stuck this piece on here and not just a black, you know, plastic or whatever. So that's pretty cool. Looking at the seat, I want to talk about both the seats here and just the overall design and comfort and features. So first of all, if we're just looking at design and just looking at how these seats look, this is an absolute 10 out of 10 from me. Very beautiful seats. They just got a real sort of race car type of design and look to them, and they are the Recaro you know, Alcantara leather seats, and they're beautiful. So you got the suede Alcantara leather inserts in the middle, and you got standard leather on the sides. It's all manually adjusted, and it's adjusted by these guys here. So if you turn this knob, you can see that seat actually lifts up, so it's sort of the tilt. I think these are actually 8-way adjustable seats. So up, down, this controls the rear portion of that seat. This guy controls you know, your seat recline. A little hard to get to though, I do have to say. It's kind of snug in there, but you know, I guess if you're not adjusting your seat all the time, it's fine. And then you've got a little bar here underneath for sliding a seat back and forth. Otherwise, really good seat. You got Nismo stitching right there on the top, and just a beautiful seat. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Nice red stitching here on the sides, and Alcantara is really cool. All right, going out to the left side of the steering wheel, as far as buttons and what we have here, we have a traction control on and off button right there, and we have a key fob holder right there, so you can actually take your key and put it into there, just so you I don't know, maybe won't lose it or something. And then you got your hood release down here. All right, let's hop in. All right, so let's take some time and talk about the steering wheel here. As far as the materials on the steering wheel, this portion right here, this is all leather. Actually, the whole steering wheel is leather, but this is just normal leather, and this is Alcantara here. Again, really nice feel to it. Really good 9-3 grip here. Just, you know, there's no buttons, there's nothing behind the steering wheel that's blocking your sort of grip on the steering wheel. I mean, when you're driving this and you're holding the steering wheel, it just feels like you're sitting behind a race car. Just a really good steering wheel. And also, when you do adjust the steering wheel up and down, the entire gauge actually moves with it, which is pretty unique. You know, you really don't see that in cars, so it's kind of cool, because, you know, if you're shorter or taller or whatever, you adjust that and you see the gauges clearly always there, so that's great. We've got a few buttons on the steering wheel, just some audio controls there, and your cruise control buttons there. Nothing really special. Your left stalk here is just for controlling your lights, and the right stalk is just for your windshield wipers. Do like this little red accent piece here at the top of the steering wheel. Really cool design. I love that as well. One thing I want to mention about the steering wheel is that it doesn't actually go in and out. It just goes up and down as far as the adjustment, and it is manual as well, you know, to save weight, just as it is on the seats. But you know, with as far as how you can adjust your seat to the pedals and to the steering wheel, sitting position is actually really well. Gauges are kind of cool. They're a little old school and sporty and kind of nice. I like them. So in the center here you have your RPMs, and this car does redline at 7,500 RPMs, which I'm going to talk about that a little later, but it sounds amazing when you get up higher into the red line. And fuel gauge right here, there's these little lights that actually come on, and let me just start the car up for you guys here just so we can kind of see what it is that I'm talking about. So there they are, the little lights that come on, and they show you your fuel gauge and then your temperature down here below. Right there in the middle you do have your gear indicator. It's showing at N right now because we are neutral. That S right there, that actually stands for, that connects with this button right here, and that is actually for your rev match. So you can turn it on and off, and that will, you know, do your rev match for you. On the right side you just got your speedometer there with your different trips and your odometer. Pretty straightforward, pretty simple, nothing crazy there. You can also press on this little button here. This will show you the miles per gallon reading. So when you're driving, it'll show you the current reading, and it'll show you, I think, average miles per gallon and the average miles per hour. Time, miles, your range that's left, and outside temperature. We're in Florida and it's January and it's 67. That's awesome. And your clock there, and some other stuff here like maintenance and alerts and that sort of thing. So all right, so continuing on the tour on the inside of the car here, we do have 3 gauges right there, which actually look pretty cool. We do have the battery voltage there in the middle, just the clock there on the right, and engine temperature there on the left. Moving down, we have a GPS navigation right here in the middle. Pretty typical screen, nothing really crazy with what you can do on there, just your GPS and just some normal typical stuff here. You do have some designated buttons here for just quick moving around the map here, so you can kind of you know, press the little buttons and pan and zoom and do all that kind of stuff. The screen is also a touch screen, so you can you know, move around that way as well. There is also a CD player right here, and I think it might be a 6 CD changer, but I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that. Some standard controls there for your volume, your tuning, and your climate controls right there. Nothing really crazy. You do have your emergency flashers right there, and there's the button for the rev matching for the on and off. Something I really want to point out about this transmission here is just how short of these throws are into first and second and into all the gears. It's just a really nice, snappy, easy flow. And if you want to put it into reverse, you actually have to push down, go all the way to the right, and that is in reverse. What's pretty cool here is when you put the car into reverse, you do have a backup camera that comes up there. Isn't really that high quality, I do have to say that. The reverse cam isn't that high quality, but you do have another camera right here, another display for the backup camera up here, which is kind of unique for having these 2 screens. But I guess that's pretty cool if you're looking into there and seeing where you're backing into, and just kind of being able to look at that screen. It does look like it's good quality here though, just because it's a smaller screen. You do have your old school parking brake right there, which is kind of cool. I actually kind of like that. You know, that there's not like a little lever or button that you have to press, and it's not all electronic and digital, so that's kind of cool. You do have 2 spare buttons right there, so there's nothing actually there, and you do have a trunk release button there. You do have some storage, actually really good storage back here, pretty decent. You know, you're not going to be able to fit too much into here, but you know, a purse or a small little bag or something else, you can definitely fit into there. And this thing opens up, you've got your your owner's manual in there and some other things. So all right, let's take a look at the passenger side. Let's see what we have here. Like I said, this is the Alcantara insert that I was talking about. On the other side is really cool, that I really love. Nice dash. It's softer. I like that it's not just hard plastic. It's sort of that rubberized foamy type material. You do have a glove box right there, pretty typical normal size for a car this size. And down below you do have a 12-volt plug as well. Let's go out to the back and let's take a look at the trunk. Again, the trunk button is right here. Trunk is kind of heavy at first when you first lift it up, and then it kind of lifts up by itself. You do have a nice cover here that covers everything that you have in your trunk space, which is great. It sort of auto retracts and comes in and out by itself as you open the door. As far as trunk space, this is actually a relatively good size trunk space here. You know, it's not that deep. You won't be able to really put in that much stuff here as far as height, but it's a pretty good area here. You know, I mean, you can't complain with a car, you know, that's got 2 seats. You know, for the driver and for the passenger, I mean, you really don't need any more storage. This is more storage than you would need, I think, in a car of this size. All right, I think that we have done, or I have done, enough blabbering, enough talking about this car. Let's go out for a drive and let's see how this thing drives. And I'll talk some more about my experience with it when I'm driving, and let's go and enjoy this thing. All right, we're sitting inside the car here, so let's push in the clutch and press the power on button, and she comes to life. Parking brake off, first gear. All right, there's something that I want to mention before I forget about this, and that is I am 6'2", and I fit in this car relatively well. I've driven it around for, you know, quite a bit of miles here already. You know, I've got plenty of head space here, and it just feels nice. It's definitely like a small, you know, a small cab, a pretty small interior, but if you're 6'2", 6'3", whatever, you know, with how you can adjust the seat, you'll fit perfectly fine. No worries on that part at all. So one of the first things that I noticed when I first got behind the wheel of this thing was just how easy this 6-speed manual is to drive. First of all, you know, you've got the rev match feature. So when you're upshifting or downshifting, it'll match your revs with your speed, and it'll just be a lot more seamless of a gear change. Plus the clutch pedal itself has got a really nice feel to it, good travel, and a good, just a good feel to it. It's not hard to push it in, not hard to hold it, a really good clutch pedal. And another thing is the shifter itself. It's got a really sort of relatively short throw between all the gears. It just kind of makes for changing all the gears relatively quick and easy. So, but here's that rev match going into third. Brings up the RPMs, you let out the clutch, and it's just seamless and smooth. Second gear, there it is, seamless and smooth. It's very nice. Rev matching works really well. Dang, this car gets up and goes. Man, this car has got a lot of oomph. Wow. But I'm surprised by just how punchy this car is and just how well this car pulls, especially when you get up higher into your RPMs. I mean, you've got just an abundance of power. Really, this car feels so nimble to drive. It is just, it's really, really fun. And another thing, this car corners so flat. Very flat. There's absolutely no body roll, as you would expect. I mean, but here we are, you know, in third gear, 2,500 RPM, 30 miles per hour, and we press in. And there was 50 right there. Just really good power, really nice. And you know, driving this car, it just makes me miss having a sports car, having something with a little more power. Makes me miss it so much. Like, I really wish I could just put down some money and get a car like this. I really wish I could do it. It's just, they're just so much fun to drive, so much fun. You know, a lot of people are, you know, saying things like, well, why do you need all that power or whatever? But there's just something special. I mean, you got to be a car guy. You got to be a car person in order to understand this. Now, as far as the brakes are wonderful. There's really nothing I could say about them. They're good brakes. I do feel like you do have to press in a little bit more than I would maybe expect, but that's something that I would just have to get used to in order to get that real good stopping power. I'm kind of blown away by how good this car sounds. It sounds really, really good. For it being a V6, you know, it doesn't have that sort of maybe grumbly, low sort of, it doesn't have that low grumbly sort of sound, but it revs pretty high, you know, at 7,500 RPM, so it revs relatively high. And when you get up higher into the RPMs, this car just comes to life, and it's really beautifully sounding exhaust and just a beautifully sounding engine. I'm surprised that a V6 can sound this good. It's really good. And driving around, it's also kind of nice to have your tachometer there in the center, you know, that big sort of center focus area. And, you know, so you can watch your RPMs. So I kind of like the gauge design with the RPMs being in the middle and the speedometer, that's less important, being on the right. So what's it like to daily drive this car? You know, we've got 350 horsepower. We've got relatively good, decent gas mileage. Not actually, I can't even say decent. This is really good. You know, 19 in the city, I think 26 on the highway, I think is what I said. If I'm wrong, I'll correct myself here. But those numbers are good. You know, power is great, so it's really punchy. You've got enough get up and go when you need to get up and go. This being a manual transmission, you know, if you have a lot of commute that's in the city and in a lot of traffic, you know, that might be a little bit harder to use. But with just how easy this manual transmission is to drive, I would say go for the manual. This is a 100% totally doable daily driver, for sure. The thing about this car is fun to drive. You know, you go out for a drive and you just, I mean, listen to that. Man, do I love that. Frickin' love it. Does not get old. Does not get old. All right, you guys, so I think I'm gonna wrap up my review here. I love the car. I think if you're interested in buying yourself a car that's gonna put a smile on your face, go and frickin' test drive one of these cars. And you know, if you're in Florida and if Nissan of Bradenton isn't too far from you, go and visit them, because you know, they have some oh man, freaking A, I love that. I so love that. Whew. If you're not far from Nissan of Bradenton, go and visit them and go and test drive this car for yourself, or go visit your local dealership, because I think you're really going to enjoy this, and you're going to like it. I think you will. From now on to the end of the video, I just want to have a drive. I just want, I don't want to talk, because I think you guys are probably tired of hearing me talk. So I'm going to shut up, and I'm just gonna let you guys listen to the car and watch it drive. And we are back at Nissan of Bradenton. I feel so sad to actually give this car back. I wish I could just keep it for another day or two because I just freaking love this car so much. It's just such a joy to drive. I really do love this car. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed for more videos like this one and others. And I'll see you guys next time.